Honourable Phil Heatley.
Can I too rise and congratulate the Minister, Paula Bennett, on bringing this bill to the House, and of course the considerable amount of work that has gone on behind the scenes, but also publicly in putting this together. There's nothing like talking to those and hearing from those on the front line, both in government departments and those who work in the NGO sector, and also privately. And I know the Minister too has spent a lot of time talking to families who have both been on the receiving end of tragic news, but also families who want to help out, particularly those who want to adopt or take children into their home at a level perhaps below adoption, but caring for them just as intensely and proactively. So this bill is part of a series of measures that the National Government is putting together to wrap around care for those in this country who are not cared for. Too many New Zealand children are abused and put in difficult and stressful and physically harmful circumstances. I would like to take the time to repeat statistics that have been put about publicly. First of all, more than 50 children have died in the last 5 years because of extreme abuse. You can't get more extreme than death, Mr. Speaker. Because of abuse, a child under 2 is hospitalised every 5 days, an extraordinary statistic. And every year, Child, Youth and Family substantiates 22,000 cases of physical, sexual or emotional abuse and neglect. And that's not reported, that's substantiated cases, Mr. Speaker. And that's something that clearly this House has given a lot of thought to, given the fact that there is serious or considerable cross-party support for this piece of legislation. In terms of the main provisions, Mr. Speaker, I think the one that is highlighted to me is requiring chief executives from across government departments and agencies to work together to put together a plan which addresses the whole issue of vulnerable children that could be exposed to abuse, but not just put together this plan, but those chief executives are held to account on how exactly that plan is progressing and what results they are getting. That is so important, Mr. Speaker, so that changes can be made, tweaks, or if required, stopping doing something and replacing it with doing something else more successful. It will require the Ministries of Social Development, Education, Health, Justice and the Police to have policies in place as a ministry across the country to ensure that child abuse is reported, is identified and is acted upon. I find that particularly interesting, Mr. Speaker, because to some it might seem like a Wellington approach with chief executives settled here in Wellington and ministries based here in Wellington. But in fact, this will affect those frontline staff out in the regions. And although we have this bill underpinning the Children's Action Plan at a ministerial level, at a chief executive level, at a ministry level, the reality is we've got examples in Rotorua at the moment and Whangarei where in the region staff on the front line are working together. So those on the front line in Rotorua and in Whangarei, the front line for Te Puni Kōkiri, the MB for district health boards, for the police, for education departments and of course for the local courts and the DHBs, we're seeing in Rotorua and Whangarei are coming together of minds, of strategies and making sure that information is shared and that child abuse is brought to a head, is reported on and is acted on. So, Mr. Speaker, I gladly commend this piece of legislation to the Health, support it, look forward to the Select Committee process where we can hear from those on the front line that we can add to it and make it even better. May I congratulate the Minister.
Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take a call on the Vulnerable Children Bill. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to begin by saying and acknowledging the work of the Minister.